Shana Tova. My name is Michael Kuhne, and I am the president of the Mount Zion Board of Directors. I've watched the presidents who have preceded me make this speech many times before, and my thought has always been the same. This is a really difficult spot in the service for another speech. I will be concise. First, I want to express my gratitude. Second, I will outline 4 areas of focus that I will keep before me during the remainder of my term as president: security, tzedek, our interfaith households, and youth leadership. And finally, I want to speak about the generosity of the Mount Zion community. Alan Marinas, the author of Everyday Holiness and an important contemporary Musar teacher, exclaims, "When you open yourself to experience the trait of gratitude, you discover with clarity and accuracy how much good there is in your life." And this is true, at least in the very short time that I have been president. Here at Mount Zion, we can be grateful for so much. For instance, I have had a behind-the-scenes view of our clergy. They are talented, expertly proficient, and loving. They give so much of their time and hearts to this community, and their leadership is really quite immeasurable. Rabbi Spilker, Rabbi Adler, Cantor Spilker, on behalf of the Mount Zion community, thank you. This year, a special note of gratitude to Cantor Strauss-Klein, whom we are honoring for her 10 years of gracing our community with her musical and spiritual leadership. Her voice, talent, and enthusiasm for life brings us all closer to the divine. And so, Cantor Strauss-Klein, we thank you. The day-to-day management of Mount Zion is a massive undertaking, and we are blessed to be led in this regard by Larry Solomon, our executive director. Larry has a wonderful team. Teresa Matzik, Janelle Norleen, Julie Beckman, Don Novak, and Elias Pastrano Navarro keep things sailing smoothly. On behalf of Mount Zion, I thank each and every one of them, but I also ask that the next time you see them, that you take the time to thank them for all that they do for us. We have an astonishing professional staff. Sue Summit, our religious school director, runs a religious school that is the gold standard for the Twin Cities Jewish community. Year in and year out, Sue assembles a top-flight staff of teachers who guide and inspire our youth in our Jewish traditions and history. To Sue and to all who are associated with our religious school, thank you. Shai Avni, our congregational engagement director, has been here a very short time, but he has made his mark in many deep and profound ways. Whether it is guiding our new members so that they can feel at home more quickly, leading our Mount Zion Connect effort, or correcting my abysmal Hebrew, Shai brings an energy and expertise to his roles, and we are so very fortunate to have him here. Shai, thank you. I remember sitting in board meetings, looking around the table, and realizing just how talented and loyal to Mount Zion each individual board director was. The board makes decisions on behalf of the congregation. And while you may not always agree with those decisions, you should never doubt their integrity and commitment to our community. I try frequently to tell the board how grateful I am for all that they do, but no matter how much or how often I do this, it is simply not enough. And so to my board peers, I say once again, thank you for all that you do. And then there's you. All of this exists for and because of you. You make this place happen. You lead or serve on committees. You participate in programming and educational opportunities. You study and chant Torah. You sing at services. You welcome the stranger into our midst. You hold each other close during difficult times, and you laugh and embrace during moments of joy. You are the beloved community of Mount Zion. Thank you. I've often thought of what I want to keep in front of me during my term as president. It's not always easy to do so. Circumstances and the regular business of synagogue life can crowd out some of the ideas and values that we hold dear. And that's one of the reasons why I want to share them publicly with you, so that you might hold me accountable to them. First, the safety and security of this community is an obvious priority. The Safety Committee, led by David Knapp, implemented many thoughtful measures over the summer, and a review by the JCRC Security Director indicated that our safety and security measures are good and getting better. We've created a specially trained group of volunteers called Shomrim, or watch guards, who help keep us safe while maintaining a friendly and welcoming atmosphere. We now have 14 Shomrim, and we'll have additional trainings later in the fall. We will continue to analyze our safety options, and we will secure our community. Second, I am committed to our tzedek and social action efforts. As the former chair of the tzedek committee for 5 years, tzedek is where I found a home at Mount Zion, a place where I felt that I, with others, could make a difference. Mount Zion has a justifiably proud tradition of bold and compassionate social action, currently led by Vic Rosenthal and Diana Dean. The work that we are doing is impressive. Interfaith dialogue, immigration reform, and local economic development are just a few of the areas of focus. Throughout these efforts, we are motivated by our participation in the Union of Reform Judaism's Brit Olam, which says in part that we will foster a culture of sacred and civil dialogue in our community where all opinions are heard, that we will act in solidarity with vulnerable communities, and that we will build relationships across lines of difference in our local community. In doing so, we pray and work for a world in which all people experience wholeness, justice, and compassion. Another area of focus will be interfaith families at Mount Zion. The statistics are difficult to pinpoint, but suffice it to say that many members of the Mount Zion community are not, in fact, Jewish. Rather, they are the spouses and partners of Jewish individuals, the children of mixed faith families, or the grandparents of mixed faith families. At Mount Zion, we see these fellow travelers as loving and loved members of our community. We have an opportunity to reflect on this aspect of synagogue life on Sunday, October 13th, in a program organized by Jessica Griffith entitled Multi-Faith Mindset, a dialogue about mixed faith families at Mount Zion. I will be there, and I hope that you will join me. Along with many Mount Zion congregants, I spent 3 wonderful days in Washington, D.C. at the Religious Action Center's consultation on conscience this past May. The RAC impressed me with their commitment to youth. At every opportunity, they had young people speaking to the assembly. I recognized that Mount Zion could do no less. Our young people are not just the future of Judaism, but they are also the energy and excitement of the present. We always have a teen representative on the board of directors, and we are continually evaluating our youth program and looking for ways to make it even stronger. And finally, a word about giving and receiving. Thanks to you, our income from membership dues has increased. Our annual campaign and legacy giving are strong. Our endowment campaign, Make Firm Our Steps, while in the beginning stages, is promising. In my role as president, I've been privy to these extraordinary acts of generosity. All of this is to say that I am humbled and awed. I grew up in rural poverty, the son of a road construction worker and a seasonal maid. We did not go hungry, but I do remember the taste of General Assistance cheese. My mother and father worked hard to keep their family of 6 children clothed, fed, and educated. While I'm not ashamed of my socioeconomic roots, until recently I carried prejudices about wealth and wealthy people with me into adulthood. These negative prejudices have been obliterated as I have been witness to people giving generously, frequently anonymously, time and time again. I watch and wonder, and I am transformed. I began with a quote from Alan Morenus, and I will close with one. Morenus suggests that the tradition teaches that practicing generosity opens the heart, and then ultimately, the reward for generosity is that the giver receives the gift of the presence of God dwelling among us. I would add to this that the receiver receives the gift of God's presence as well. I have reaped so much from my time among you in this community. So Happy New Year, Mount Zion. May the coming year be secure, filled with gratitude, youthful energy, justice, generosity, and above all, joy. Shana Tova.